One Calgary man dead, another injured after a shooting in Raymond.
The caller indicated that they heard about 20 pops.
Police say this was a targeted attack in the tiny southern Alberta town. Plus, separation might be all the talk, but most Albertans don't actually want it.
They aren't going anywhere. They've made up their minds. They're pretty rock solid.
What else a new survey reveals amid the ongoing debate. And tackling glioblastoma.
Unfortunately, it is the most aggressive brain tumor in adults.
With a superdose of vitamin B3, the astounding results of adding niacin to cancer treatment.
It's a joy. It's a joy to find this.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. A Calgary man is dead and another is in hospital after a weekend shooting jolted residents out of bed in the southern Alberta town of Raymond early Saturday morning. Camilla DiGiuseppe joins us. Camilla, neighbors say they woke up to gunfire, screaming, and vehicles speeding away.
Tara, at least 20 gunshots were heard, according to RCMP, and when they arrived, they found a 22-year-old, a man from our city, dead at the scene. A fence pierced by bullet holes and some police scene tape in this residential back alley are remnants of the chaos that erupted just after 2 a.m. Saturday morning. Mounties say a second man, 26 years old, also from Calgary, showed up at the Chinook Regional Hospital in Lethbridge with a gunshot wound shortly after that shooting. Several RCMP detachments, the K9 unit, responded to the scene with major crimes now leading the file. Neighbors telling us off camera today 3 properties were taped off by police, including a known problem house in the area. RCMP say this was an isolated, targeted attack, but shared no other details about the Calgary men involved or why they were there. The town's mayor and longtime resident acknowledged the shocking nature of the crime, but wanted to offer some reassurance to residents.
I've been involved in town council for 9 years as councillor and now mayor, and this is the first time we've had something like this to take place. So we definitely know this is the exception and not the norm.
Tara, the town of Raymond is almost 3 hours southeast of Calgary. RCMP have not made any arrests yet and asked that anyone with information to reach out to them or do so anonymously through Crime Stoppers.
Okay, Camilla, thank you. A mother of 5 is dead and 6 other people are seriously hurt after a bus carrying a youth church group rolled this weekend on a northern Alberta highway. It happened around 10:30 Saturday night near Grand Prairie. The youth group was traveling after taking part in Bible studies near Edmonton. The bus attempted to slow for a car stopped on the highway. When it struck ice, collided with a median, rolled twice, and landed back on its wheels. 50-year-old Lillian Banda, a mother of 5 and a parishioner, was ejected from the bus and died at the scene. RCMP say road factors may have been a factor in that crash. It was an emotionally charged Sunday night in Staveley. A benefit hockey game was hosted for the 3 junior hockey players who were killed last week in a highway collision in southern Alberta. The players' families, teammates, and friends gathered in their grief, but say the outpouring of support is helping them carry their heartbreak. Tyson Fedor reports.
3 wooden crosses, the names of junior hockey players painted on them, stand together along Highway 2 near Staveley. Family, billets and friends were seen remembering J.J. Wright and Cameron Casorso of Kamloops and Caden Fine of Alabama, all killed in a crash last week.
It feels like a warm hug to be here during an awful, awful time.
JJ's father, Chris Wright, says in the wake of his son's death, he understands why Staveley became home for JJ to live out his hockey dream.
Part of me is honestly afraid to go home. We can feel him here.
On Sunday, a benefit game in front of a packed Staveley Arena featured the Southern Alberta Mustangs and Staveley Spurs alumni team. Cameron Casorso's jersey hanging from the crossbar, his goal stick, mask and gloves positioned like they always were, ready for the next shot. Fine and Wright's stick and gloves also laid out on the ice, all part of a moment of silence ahead of puck drop.
The boys are hurting, but they're incredibly strong. We are taking things one day at a time to make sure they have the space and the support that they need.
The 3 were killed in a crash on their way to practice after colliding with a truck hauling gravel, but that driver is not at fault, according to RCMP.
There's a local truck driver that is shattered as well. they're going to drive by that memorial every single day.
As a billet family, the Dozmans hosted all 3 players.
These boys were special to all of us, and they will forever be remembered and loved by everyone.
Teammate Tyson Tozer also lived with them.
I shared a room with Caden, and there wasn't a day that went by where I didn't have a smile on my face because of that kid.
Caden Fine grew up in Alabama. He began playing hockey at age 9. He had several offers to play in his home country, but chose Stavely, nearly 3,700 kilometers away.
I'm going to miss seeing my son on the ice. Nicest kid off the ice, but when he strapped out, I mean, he was a beast, man. He wasn't going to take anything from anybody. And he messed with one of his buddies, and he was going to let you know it.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
The Mustangs will resume their season on Saturday. A larger memorial is planned at a future date for the 3 players. Several ongoing fundraisers in the U.S. and Canada have raised tens of thousands of dollars for funeral and travel arrangements for the families. Mounties pulled over a driver who was going 178 kilometers per hour on the QE2 this weekend. Police say when they pulled the vehicle over north of Airdrie, they noticed 2 children in the back weren't wearing seat belts. That driver now has a court date set for next month. A new poll shows the majority of Albertans want to remain part of Canada. The survey results come as a push to force a referendum on Alberta independence continues, with stops all over the province. Jordan Canagan explains.
Lineups are long and many signatures are being gathered, but support for Alberta to separate from Canada doesn't appear to be widespread.
It's the intensity factor here that I think really stands out. Right now, the intensity is with the stay side as opposed to the leave side.
The Angus Reid Institute polled 979 Albertans online from February 2nd to the 6th. It found 29% of people would vote for Alberta independence, while 65% would vote to stay in Canada.
That number is 7 times larger than the number of Albertans who say they would definitely vote to leave.
But those pushing for an independent Alberta say it's time to break free from federal policies they say are harmful and gain full control of the province's resources.
My response is that it's a phony poll. The mood in Alberta and what's going on in Alberta is what's being demonstrated by all of the events and signings, the signing events.
Rath suggests some of that support is coming from those within the provincial government, but says UCP MLAs are being muzzled.
We want to make sure that Ottawa pays attention to Alberta, that Ottawa hears Albertans, but we are supporting United Alberta within United Canada.
Those against leaving worry about the province being landlocked and losing key Canadian programs and infrastructure.
I think there's no need to separate Canada, as great as it is, and I love Canada.
I really don't think it's good because we support everybody in Alberta. Alberta supports most of Canada with workers, oil, whatnot.
Like there's 70% people that don't think it's a right idea, but they don't like it. There's BC. There's, move out there if you want.
Jordan is at the McDougall Centre with more tonight. Jordan, what else did this poll find?
Well, Tara, also in that polling, it found that if Alberta were to ever leave Canada, about 75% of people who say they want to stay within this country would leave Alberta if independence were to ever come to fruition. Those people also say that they worry about possible threats from the United States if Alberta were to become independent as well. That online poll, by the way, has a margin of error of plus or minus 3 percentage points 19 times out of 20. Meantime, collection of those signatures is in full swing. The Alberta Independent petition needs about 178,000 signatures to be collected by May if they want to force a referendum on the issue. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. An Alberta country music star was removed from a speaking list at a teachers' convention in Edmonton, and the Teachers Association refuses to say why. The ATA initially said Paul Brandt was not part of the programming this year. It later revised the statement, saying he was originally scheduled to speak but not included in the final schedule. Brandt, in a statement, says he speaks to all audiences about human trafficking through his course, Not in My City. The Premier says she is disappointed and that standing up for the victims of sex trafficking is a nonpartisan cause. Brandt faced online criticism recently after he would not clarify his stance on Alberta independence.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
A new report by the Canadian Climate Institute is calling for better climate proofing for infrastructure. The report sheds light on the impact that hotter weather and heavy rainfall is having on everything from roads to storm pipes, and why governments should be proactive. Tyler Bauer has more on what it means for Calgary.
The heat can have more severe impacts than a sunburn, and a torrential downpour can lead to more trouble than backed up traffic. A new report by the Canadian Climate Institute is calling for proactive measures to climate-proof infrastructure.
It's these chronic stresses from heat and heavy rainfall that are deteriorating infrastructure everywhere across the country.
NAS points to intense rainfall leading to stormwater pipes exceeding capacity. Dramatic fluctuations in temperatures affect roads, impacting cities across the country.
Might be using more heat-resistant pavements or materials for road beds that better tolerate being saturated more often by intense rainfall.
The report's analysis showed these and other climate proofing represent a 2.5% increase to what governments are currently spending on infrastructure. But spending more now could result in $10 billion in savings in infrastructure maintenance and replacements down the road. The head of the City of Calgary's climate adaptation points to the impacts the 2013 floods and 2024 hailstorm had on the city's infrastructure, adding, extreme weather also increases the city's operating costs and maintenance expenses while disrupting services for Calgarians. With the frequency and severity of these events increasing in the future, we anticipate that our changing climate will increase future capital and operating costs for city-owned public infrastructure. One expert we spoke with says the city is conscious of the issue.
We have to change the way we build. We have to change the codes to which we build. We have to consider new construction materials as well.
Since working infrastructure can have broad economic benefits.
Operational when it's needed, it means that businesses can keep functioning, people can get to work, supply chains remain intact.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
According to Stats Canada's Core Infrastructure Survey, Canada's public infrastructure has a replacement value of approximately $2.7 trillion. Let's get our first peek at the forecast. Danielle joins us now. How's our evening shaping up?
You know what? We are looking at, if you enjoyed today, basically, then you're going to enjoy the rest of this week because we have temperatures that will be mild. We have no real active weather. 1 degree is where we're sitting right now at the airport. Today, we got to a high of 5. We did have a decent amount of cloud cover out there. This is now clearing out, setting us up for a mainly sunny day tomorrow. The key thing to note for tomorrow, we're looking at a wind chill of -6 when off to work and school. So layers will be important because you'll have to take many of those off when we get up to 8 degrees in the afternoon. We'll get a little gusty up to 40 kilometers per hour after the noon hour. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Just ahead, Calgary researchers make a big discovery about big doses of vitamin B3. That new study reveals adding niacin to regular cancer treatments is very effective in slowing brain tumors. And another bronze medal for Canada today at the Milan Cortina Olympics. We have those details after a quick break. Many of us may know glioblastoma as the aggressive brain cancer that killed tragically hip frontman Gord Downey in 2017. About 1,000 Canadians every year are diagnosed with the incurable disease. As Kevin Green reports, University of Calgary researchers say they may have found a way to extend the life of people diagnosed with it using a common vitamin supplement.
Edward Waldner was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2024 after months of declining health, which eventually sent him to the emergency room in Lethbridge.
And so I did a CAT scan in Lethbridge, and the doctor came back, and he entered the room, and I knew it was bad.
It actually couldn't get much worse. Waldner has glioblastoma.
Unfortunately, it is the most aggressive brain tumor in adults, and up to now it is an incurable disease.
Waldner didn't give up. After surgery and chemo, he enrolled in a research study at the University of Calgary looking at whether high doses of niacin or vitamin B3 can slow or halt the tumor's growth.
We instantly jumped on it and said, why not? Let's help out with the study. You know, if it helps me, it can help somebody else. So I think it's helping me.
Researchers say the preliminary results have been very encouraging.
Whereas in untreated subjects, 5 of 10 would progress over a 6-month period. In the context of niacin treatment, this was reduced to 2 of 10.
Glioblastoma shuts down the body's immune response to the tumors. High-dose niacin appears to reawaken it. And while encouraging, the results are preliminary, stage 2 of a 3-stage trial.
This interim analysis is hopeful that more patients are going to benefit from niacin. We cannot extrapolate overall survival yet.
While the researchers guard their expectations, Waldner's family believes being in the study has extended and improved his life.
It's a joy. It's a joy to find this. You know, every day we're blessed to still have him, and it's thanks to this.
Researchers are still enrolling more patients into the study with a goal of having 48 undergoing the niacin therapy. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The researchers caution that niacin at the doses used in the trial can have serious side effects and should only be taken under medical supervision. The union representing thousands of frontline hospital workers in Alberta says its new collective agreement with the province has been ratified. The Alberta Union of Provincial Employees says the deal ensures 27,000 hospital support staff earn living wages by April 2027. Highlights include a 12% pay increase retroactive to April 2024 and a 2% long service wage increase for staff with more than 20 years of service. The union's president says the contract recognizes the vital work members do. Finance Minister Nate Horner says it provides workers fair compensation. In November, a deal was reached with more than 16,000 nursing care staff just minutes before they were set to strike.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast. We've got another pretty great week ahead of us.
Yes. My suggestion would be that we all take the time to enjoy this if you like the warmer temperatures, because next week will not be so warm. Not that it will be excessively cold, but our daytime highs will be below freezing next week. So make the best of all of this. Now, today the winds were calm, 48 kilometers per hour. That was the max in Pincher Creek, 28 for Cranbrook, and around that 30 mark for Banff. The winds are going to pick up tomorrow, so expect 60 kilometer per hour gusts in the Pincher Creek area, around that 50 mark for Lethbridge, 40 in through Calgary, Brooks, Medicine Hat, and 30 for Drumheller and Cranbrook. So a breezy day. It won't be excessively windy, but it will certainly be breezy in the afternoon hours. Now, when we look at temperatures, this is a look at daytime highs today. We got to 5 in the city. Pincher Creek and Lethbridge got to 7. Brooks got to 9, and Medicine Hat to 8. Fast forward to right now, and temperatures as they cool through for the evening. We're sitting at 1 in Calgary and Drumheller, at the freezing mark in Brooks, 3 in Medicine Hat, and Pincher Creek, and 4 in Lethbridge. We are looking at daytime highs similar to today, if not what we had today, warmer. And that's because the jet stream will still be just enough to the north. This isn't the ridge of high pressure we had in place last week where we broke records for new highs because the jet stream was all the way up in the territories, and it was a really strong ridge of high pressure with a big push of warm air from the south. We're not having that, but we're certainly enough. This jet stream is high enough, and we're getting those winds out of the west enough to keep us above the freezing mark for our daytime highs all of this week. We don't have a lot of active weather. We do need a lot of moisture. That's not in the forecast at all this week. It's pretty stable, so I'm just going to advance this. The next couple days look like this. Mainly sunny with the occasional cloudy period is what you can expect, and a little breezy at times. All right, your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. 8 degrees is our high for tomorrow. Winds gusting out of the southwest up to 40 kilometers per hour in the afternoon hours, and then 7 for Wednesday. Thursday should be the warmest day, to be honest, of the next 10 days as we get to 9 degrees, and then we start our gradual decline. So by the weekend, our daytime high should still be just above that freezing mark. 3 for Saturday, 2 for Sunday. But when you look at next week, we'll be just below the freezing mark with regards to daytime highs. So that will be quite a change for us. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. A second bronze medal for Canada today at the Milan Cortina Olympics. Megan Oldham from Ontario had an impressive rebound in free ski slopestyle. Call it a redemption Olympics for the 23-year-old. CTV's Scott Hurst reports.
This thing is really heavy. I think it's beautiful.
Canada's Megan Oldham is already loving life as an Olympic medalist. The 24-year-old from Parry Sound, Ontario, north of Toronto, soared to new heights on the biggest stage. With skis raised and medals around their necks, the top three making sure they got a podium selfie to freeze the moment in time.
Oh, I feel incredible. It still feels a bit like a dream.
Bronze in women's ski slopestyle and redemption for finishing just off the podium in big air at the Beijing Games 4 years ago. An Olympic accomplishment Oldham will never forget.
I'm so proud of myself for putting a run down and being able to get up on the podium and bring home a bronze for Canada.
Quebec's Naomi Ernest, who finished 7th in the ski slopestyle final, says it's an inspiration to watch her teammate on the podium.
Definitely seeing her success here really inspires me, and I'm so happy for her, and hopefully I can do the same one day or maybe in 4 years.
Expect to see both women compete in the big air competition as well later in the week. It was a close call for Quebec City's Beatrice Lamarche in the women's 1,000-meter speed skating final. The 27-year-old in her first Olympics was in the bronze medal position watching the final pair of skaters. Ultimately, the second-generation Olympian was bumped down to 5th, less than 1 second off the podium. Canada's medal count is now 2 as the first full week of competition is well underway. Bronze for Valérie Malte in long track speed skating, and now bronze for Megan Oldham in ski slopestyle. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Also today, Canada's women's hockey team defeated Czechia 5-1, but it might have been a costly win. Captain Marie-Philippe Poulin left in the first period with an apparent right knee injury after being checked along the boards. She did not return for the final 40 minutes. Canada is 2-0 in preliminary round action and plays the U.S. tomorrow. A major Canadian airline suspends flights to a Caribbean hotspot. We'll tell you why travel to Cuba is grounded and what you need to know if you're holding a ticket. And an incredible free climb to save a stranded and injured paraglider on Vancouver Island. That story is just ahead. A Canadian mining company has confirmed some of the workers who were abducted from a site in Mexico have been found dead. 10 workers were taken last month from a mine site owned by Vancouver-based company Vizsla Silver. The abduction, which took place in the state of Sinaloa, prompted a local search. The Mexican Attorney General's office said on Friday that human remains had been located, but did not say how many bodies were discovered. The office also says 4 people suspected of involvement in the disappearance have been arrested. It is not a good situation in Cuba. There are power outages, food shortages, and now Air Canada is suspending all flights to the island for the foreseeable future. That's because of a scarcity of aviation fuel. Canada has also issued a heightened travel warning. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the airline's contingency plans.
Beginning Tuesday, jet fuel will no longer be available to international airlines in Cuba. The latest sign of the devastating impact the U.S. fuel blockade is having on the Caribbean nation.
We came to Cuba knowing what to expect. There's some things you'll have every day, some things you won't. I mean, that's a norm for here.
But what has been the norm is deteriorating quickly with widespread shortages of food, fuel, and medicine. Air Canada announced today it is suspending services to Cuba, focusing instead on repatriating the roughly 3,000 passengers who are still there. WestJet and Air Transat have not suspended service but have issued travel notices, allowing for free changes or cancellations. This all comes as Cuba experiences the worst economic crisis in nearly 70 years.
We don't get to see how it truly affects the Cuban life on the island.
For decades, Venezuela had been the primary source of oil for Cuba, a source that was cut off when the United States captured Venezuela's president in January. Then U.S. President Donald Trump said he would impose tariffs on any country that sells or provides oil to Cuba, further depleting its sources of fuel. Some experts say Cuba is on the brink.
By the typical definition of what we think of as a failed state, Cuba is sort of on the cusp of it.
The government has closed hotels in Veradero and is consolidating tourists to save on resources. Fuel sales are being limited while school and business hours have also been reduced.
Cuba has said it is open to negotiating with the United States to end this oil blockade. Meanwhile, the government is warning its citizens to prepare for hard times beyond what they are experiencing now. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
An animal welfare group says Skijoring is putting animal welfare at risk, but Skijoring Canada says its horses are well cared for. Skijoring involves pulling people on skis behind horses. The courses often include tight turns, jumps, and obstacles. The Calgary Humane Society has received an animal cruelty complaint about the fast-paced sport. As well, animal rights group Animal Justice says the upcoming Skijoring event in Calgary may violate Alberta's Animal Protection Act and the Criminal Code of Canada. But Skijoring Canada says the course is professionally designed and all precautions are taken.
I ride every course we build on my horse, first slowly to check it out. I pull stops, I pull turns, and I make sure that footing's solid. And if I have any concerns, we fix it or we don't run.
These events are relatively new to Alberta. There's no regulations that provide for how you must participate in these events, and they can hardly be considered reasonable given the risks they put horses in for pure entertainment.
Calgary's Skijoring event takes place February 21st and 22nd at the Confluence. A daring rescue unfolded on a rock face on southern Vancouver Island after a paraglider crashed shortly after takeoff. The rescue happened Friday on Mount Prevost. Search and rescue say a paraglider in his 70s clipped a tree after takeoff, spiraled into a rock face, and then became lodged. A ground rescue team was sent to the bottom while a rope rescue crew went to the top. But both teams determined the rescue was too complex, so they called in a helicopter hoist team. While waiting for rescuers to arrive, someone in the paragliders group climbed up from the bottom of the rock face without any safety gear and administered first aid to the injured man.
He played a very important role, and this is by the physicians that were on board, that he made a really good decision to cut that gentleman out of the harness and get him into a safer location.
The injured man was taken by ambulance to Victoria General Hospital. Pin collectors are fueling a frenzy in Milan. Some are new to this hobby, others have been in the game for decades. We'll show you the hot ticket items next. It's not an official Olympic sport, but it is nearly as intense as anything on the field of play. Pin trading is serious business at Milan's Winter Games, drawing long lines, serious collectors, and even some broken hearts. Garrett Berry reports.
An Olympic morning in Milan means, of course, competition. To these victors, the spoils, an exclusive city pin. To many others, broken hearts if they arrived too late for the prize.
Yes, we are trying this, but it's not going great for now. We don't have any pins for now.
The quest for Milan's perfect pin will take you all over the city. Each day here, there's a scavenger hunt of sorts, where the city's tourism information board posts a new location in the morning, and pin collectors congregate here to try to get a chance at a limited edition giveaway. This morning in Milan's Navigli district, people waited hours for the small souvenir.
Well, they're giving them out and it's kind of a hunt for them, so it makes it fun.
Because I live in Milan, quindi I want these pins, all pins.
I love pins. I don't know, I love putting them on my clothes and it's an easy accessory.
Some have been doing this for decades. Meet Thomas Rondi, a pin collector for 14 Olympic Games running, with the hardware to show.
It's really interesting. People have so much fun at it, and it's not really official yet for the Olympics, and we're in a club called the Olympin, and we're trying to literally get it part of the Olympics officially.
You'll find him anywhere in this city, always open for pin trading business. Even CTV anchor Heather Butts got in on the action.
This is the Paralympic Winter Games from Vancouver 2010.
The deal done.
We'll do that trade, and then you trade, and then you have fun, and you say thank you very much.
But there's more business to do. Rondi says each Olympic city starts a little cold, but towards the end of the games, it's a full-on frenzy to get your favorite pin while you can. Garrett Berry, CTV News in Milan.
They were doing it back in Calgary in '88, too. Pin collecting is huge. All right, well, speaking of things to collect, Olympic spectators love to buy their team's gear. Team Canada's look at the opening ceremonies of these games are sparking a lot of reaction online. So the Team Canada kits were designed by Vancouver-based Lululemon, and one piece in particular is being described as the statement item. That is the Team Canada convertible quilted wrap vest. It's become a major topic of conversation on TikTok, with one person saying, help me. What is this? The Canadian Olympic Committee says it can be a vest. It can be a scarf. You could pack it as a pillow. It's very versatile. It's $200. It has already sold out online on the Lululemon website.
Really, eh?
I feel like in Canada you need versatile.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think because it could be so many things, it might be very useful.
Yes.
Well, we've all seen those Boston Dynamics videos that show their robots running and dancing. They're very sophisticated. But this latest one seems like they're really just showing off now. Okay, so they shared a clip of the Atlas robot doing a cartwheel backflip combo.
That's crazy, eh?
Like, this is like an Olympic sport here. You could judge this. This is part of the final technical tests ahead of rolling out the humanoid robot. It's planned for deployment at Hyundai and Google. However, it's not all flawless. It's not all fancy footwork. They did include a blooper reel this time showing just how many accidents do happen behind the scenes till they tweak everything and get it perfect. They have some missteps too.
That would be us.
All too a little real for me.
It looks a bit real, yes, when the legs are flying.
Yeah,
Maybe there will be like a robot Olympics in the future.
You never know. Well, when you're learning a new sport, it can be hard to keep all the rules all the time top of mind. Love me, oh baby, He's got one of two things down. He's heading for the basket. He runs the length of the court to get there.
Yeah.
But you guys, he did get the basket. Nothing but net there.
Well
so
done.
no one was going to tell him he was traveling. I mean, you have to encourage some of the game, right?
Look at that excitement
I
on
know,
his little
he was
face.
so happy with himself. It's like, we're going to let this one go.
Who cares if he's traveling?
It is worth it.
Yes, absolutely. Look how delighted he is. You take that basket. Those 2 points are yours. Albertans will turn their clocks forward next month, but Alberta's premier says her government is considering another referendum on the issue. We'll take a look.
Okay, Skywatch weather camera. What a lovely evening. Temperatures are mild, wind is calm, the skies are clearing to set us up for mainly sunny skies tomorrow. All right now we're sitting at +1. It says our high was 8, but our high was actually 5 degrees. Tomorrow's high will be 8. Normal is 0 for this time of year. So we are above normal. Just to compare us to the rest of the country here, this look at daytime highs and warm in the west still and cold in the east. And this is really the pattern that we're in all week. Will be a little warmer than what we had today. Tomorrow's wind gusts, it will be a little gusty, Pincher Creek and Lethbridge, 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, but Medicine Hat, Brooks, Calgary, looking closer to that 40 kilometer per hour mark tomorrow afternoon. Nothing going on with regards to any sort of active weather. It's a quiet one for the rest of this week, just some cloudy periods at times. Key thing for tomorrow, it will feel more like -6 with the wind chill when off to work and school, so layers are an important thing for tomorrow because you'll need some layers on for the morning, and then you'll be able to take some of those layers off as we get to 8 degrees in the afternoon. Again, a little breezy in the afternoon, gusts around 40 kilometers per hour. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free. Taking a little dance around and looking at other communities for tomorrow, looking at a high of 7 in Salmon Arm and Kelowna. Kamloops 8 degrees, more cloud cover on the BC side and in Edmonton with a high of 5. But as we head to southern Alberta, mainly sunny skies for tomorrow. 6 for Olds, 7 for Drumheller, 9 for High River, Lethbridge 9 degrees, and Medicine Hat as well. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. A Calgary man was killed in a shooting about 2 hours south of the city over the weekend. It happened in the town of Raymond. Mounties received reports that about 20 shots were fired. They say it was a targeted attack. Hundreds gathered at the arena in Staveley last night to pay tribute to 3 junior hockey players who died in a highway crash last week. It was a fundraiser for the players' families and the team. And Calgary researchers are conducting a trial that may lead to hope in the fight against glioblastoma and aggressive brain cancer. They are adding vitamin B3 alongside standard treatment. Next month, Albertans will change their clocks as we spring forward, raising questions about the practice. This weekend, the Premier said her party is considering letting people vote on the issue once again. Here's Alicia Fielberg.
Alberta will spring forward in March, and like clockwork, it has some people debating whether daylight saving should continue.
I just think it's an outdated institution. I don't really know why we're still doing it.
Won't affect my schedule too hard. I'd prefer to stay the way it is.
The Premier says her party is considering putting it to Albertans as a referendum question.
I think maybe what we need to do is just say, do you want to end the time change?
Alberta has been using the practice for decades, shifting patterns to save energy and make better use of daylight. But there's often been debate about changing the clocks twice a year.
So I see pitch black, I don't want to go out. But then daylight saving time is wait, it's actually sunny now. That's I feel for a slight change to pay, just change your clocks, I feel it's worth it.
I don't really like it because it changes up my whole circadian rhythm.
And Albertans have voted on it several times before. Most recently in 2021, Albertans cast a ballot for a time change referendum. At the same time, they voted for the municipal election. 50.2% chose to keep the time change. But the Premier says the wording of that question could have been more clear, and Alberta might have another vote on the matter.
Then we can sort of do some consultation about whether we want standard time year-round or daylight time year-round. Right now, 8 months of the year, we're on daylight time. And so it kind of makes sense to me that we would stay on daylight time.
The 2021 referendum cost over $1 million and included 2 questions. Neither resulted in changes for the province. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
The University of Calgary is spearheading a national research project aimed at improving Canada's productivity.
Tax and trade policy, labor markets, innovation, adoption of new technologies like AI, infrastructure, and more, because productivity and the challenge that we face, especially in such an unpredictable and challenging world as we find ourselves in now, does require that broad, long-term perspective.
The federal government is investing $6 million over 15 years to the Canada Productivity Initiative. The idea is to address Canada's declining productivity compared to our major trading partners. It'll be led by Trevor Toome from the School of Public Policy, who will direct 30 researchers from 15 organizations across the country to develop policy recommendations to boost productivity. Air Canada, as we mentioned earlier, has halted flights to Cuba, and that decision is having an immediate effect on the airline's share price. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya.
Shares of Air Canada ended the day in the red after the airline suspended flights to Cuba. Air Canada says the decision is because of an ongoing shortage of fuel on the island. The airline says it will be sending empty flights down to Cuba to return around 3,000 passengers. Shares of Air Canada ended the day down almost 5%. And the Canadian dollar is up 60 cents to end the day to 73.76. West Texas Intermediate climbed to 64.36. Western Canadian Select is up 47 cents to 48.04. And the TSX climbed to end the day ending just above 33,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Retailer Eddie Bauer is expected to seek bankruptcy protection in Canada. It's already filed for protection in the U.S. Eddie Bauer LLC says the 220 stores in both countries will remain open, but it will host liquidation sales as the court processes get underway and it seeks a potential buyer. If it can't find a buyer, Eddie Bauer will begin a wind down of its Canadian and U.S. operations. The company has 31 stores in Canada. Some have started marking inventory down by at least 60%. The city wants your input on the Green Line elevated route through the Beltline and downtown. The province threatened to pull funding if the elevated route wasn't adopted. Between now and March 2nd, Calgarians can weigh in on how to make the best of an elevated track. There is an online survey, virtual information sessions, and open houses. The feedback will help advance the design, cost estimates, and potential impacts to existing infrastructure. The city wants to make sure the plan is broadly supported by Calgarians before the start of construction. 3 young boxers from Calgary are heading to a big tournament. We'll introduce you to one of them, chosen to represent Canada in Thailand next month. Glenn has that story for us next.
And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain.
Alanis Morissette will perform for the Stampede this summer. Born and raised in Ottawa, Morissette won 5 Grammys for her 1995 album Jagged Little Pill. It sold more than 33 million copies. She'll perform at the Saddle Dome July 11th. Amateur boxing is in a good place in the province of Alberta. Glenn is back with us. Glenn, 3 boxers from Alberta are going to Thailand.
Tara, 3 boxers right from Alberta. They're going to Thailand to represent Canada at the World Futures Boxing Cup. And one of the boxers heading to Thailand is 17-year-old Sonny Meredith of Calgary. Sonny Meredith started boxing when he was just 6 years old. Sonny's dad was a boxer, and all his kids followed in his footsteps. Climbing into the ring was just a way of life for the family.
So my older brother and older sister was doing it, and just, seeing them doing it from a young age, I was like, oh, I want to do it just like my older siblings, right?
Meredith says he loves everything about the sport. When he's boxing and training, he's in his happy place.
Well, when I'm not in there, I'm not happy. When I'm in there, I'm as happy as can be, Every time I train, I feel great, Like, everything about it, running, hitting the bag, sparring, like, I wouldn't do it any other way.
And Meredith is making a name for himself in this sport. He was chosen by Boxing Canada to represent the national team in Thailand this March at the World Boxing Futures Cup.
I'm very excited, Like, I've always known my skill set. Now I get to show people, everybody gets to watch me. So I'm very excited, I've proved to myself and everybody that there's a reason why I'm here. Meredith boxes out of the Calgary Boxing Club, and they have high expectations for him in Thailand.
It's so exciting, this qualifier that he's going to. It's a qualifier for the Youth Olympics, and I think now, especially with the Olympics on TV, it's just so exciting to know that you have a chance for that this year, to be involved in something that big. So, anyone would be so motivated for it, and he's training so hard, and we expect great things for him there.
On this day, Sonny was training with his younger sister Izzy and his older sister Ella. The family's proud of watching Sonny flourish in the sport.
I'm so proud of him. I think if anyone deserves it, it's him. I've seen him work day in, day out, like harder than everyone, diet, discipline. When he says he's going to get up at a certain time to run, he gets up at a certain time and runs.
The World Futures Boxing Cup takes place from March 18th to the 15th in Bangkok, Thailand.
Exciting. Fingers crossed for them.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Final peek of the weather, Danielle.
Yeah. So it's almost like you could say Groundhog Day for this entire week. What we had today is what we'll have the next day, the next day, the next day.
That's okay.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
We will take it.
Take it all in. Make the best of it, because next week will be much cooler.
These guys are.
These guys looking like they're enjoying it. Okay, so I have a couple names here. I have Duncan, Marty, and Maggie are the chocolate labs, and they're with their friends at the dog park.
They're beautiful.
I mean, and the owners, I'm thinking, probably enjoying this weather as well. That was Weather Window, brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And there you go. 8 degrees tomorrow. Yes, breezy in the afternoon with gusts around 40 kilometers per hour. 7 for Wednesday, then up to 9. Thursday will be the warmest day of the next 10 days. And then we start our slow decline by the weekend. So Saturday 3, Sunday you're looking at about 0, and then after that, below freezing.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.